So I wanted to talk a little bit about routine. And I know back when I was really overwhelmed, when I had tons of stress and just literally surviving day to day, I really felt like routines were something that were very confining, very restrictive. Because of course, when you're surviving, when you're just like so overwhelmed and struggling to get stuff done and never really getting that list done. It's really quite this cycle. Um, Alls we want is to not have the list. We want to not have all these things. We just, want the freedom. We want to be able to lay on the couch. We want to be able to just watch TV. Like that's what we crave because we don't have the time to do it, right? But it really is a trick of the mind because the funny part is if we had routine, if we chose to really follow schedules and healthy proper routine, healthy schedules, right, to actually get stuff done, this actually frees up a ton of time. I know this because literally I've lived it. Again, being that person overwhelmed, I had my schedule for work and I had all my clients I had to see, but then everything else, I was just like winging it. If I had my to-do list, I would just try and like get stuff done and just do things. And of course, because I didn't have the structure, I didn't have a schedule to follow. I would get the shiny object syndrome. I get distracted by so many things. I didn't use that, had that focused attention. So I would go off in 1,000 directions. And then of course, what happens is you end up, getting 10 things, I don't know, a quarter done, a half done, but you end up getting nothing actually done. So then you go to bed and you still have that giant list because you've done none of it, nothing completely, right? And it's all that wasted time being distracted 1,000 different directions, half doing things. This is what trips us up. And especially, again, think of how many times maybe you don't do it on a daily basis. I used to do it quite frequently, where you walk into the same room, 3, 4, 5 times and you keep forgetting why you went there. That's a ton of wasted time, right? This is the same concept like when we go on Facebook, Instagram, whatever your social media, your guilty pleasures, and you think, oh, I'm just going to scroll for like 5 minutes. I'm just going to see if there's anything new. Half an hour later, 40 minutes later, you're like, holy crap, I can't believe I've been doing this for so long, right? It's that we get sidetracked and we don't realize how much time we're wasting, right? So this is where I love my schedules, of course, having a healthy schedule to get stuff done, couple that with the focused attention, and really you're going to free up so much time. You're just going to be crossing stuff off the list like crazy. Like it's a game changer. And that's where I also love routine comes in because, of course, schedules are good for getting stuff crossed off the list, like things that you don't necessarily have to repeat all the time. Whereas the routines are things that you have to do consistently, repeatedly, like every day. So I always say, if you don't currently have routines, if you're not a person who has those or implements those, maybe you think routines are the enemy, they're restrictive, they're confining, you do everything possible to not follow a routine. Hopefully I'm going to change your mind here. And the best place to start to really implement it, to give yourself that positive result of showing how good the routine is, the morning routines. And I will just say as a side note, guys, there are a few things that every successful person has in common. Every successful person does. One of those things, guys, is every successful person has routine in their life. Seriously. And one of the best things is because routine saves a bunch of time. It helps us be more productive. It gets rid of the procrastination. It helps us be more efficient, and it helps decrease stress and anxiety because we have a nice structure to follow. It's kind of like that no-brainer activity where it takes out, did I remember this? Did I remember this? Do we all have this? Did we do this? Did we forget? No, because you have a routine to follow. So you know you're not going to forget anything because you do the same thing every morning. So it takes out the guessing game. It gets rid of a lot of stress and anxiety that you might have for, like, again, I'll use the mornings as an example, right? So, and because of this, it also promotes health, like a healthier lifestyle, because you're decreasing the stress, you're decreasing the anxiety, you're decreasing procrastination, which of course leads to more stress and anxiety. And especially if you put some sort of self-care, some sort of health benefit into your routine, obviously you're going to do it though. Like for me, the first thing when I get up, part of my routine, I take the dogs out for a nice long walk. Then I go for my run. I don't do anything else until I get those two things done. Then I follow the rest of my routine, right? So that's, of course, I'm going to be healthier for it. But again, you can see how this kind of, depending what you choose to put in your routine, how it all just helps and it benefits you. So for the mornings, this is one of those, like when I was a massage therapist, for the most part, I started every day. I had a client at 9 a.m. And so I had my morning routine. I got up, I did the same thing in the same order every morning. For some people, you might hear that and be like, oh, boring, oh, mundane, oh, I just like, oh, this, the restrictiveness, all these things, whatever. But depending how efficient I was, depending how quickly I got things done, or what I decided to have for breakfast and how long that took to cook, I was always left with 20 minutes, 20 to 9. I'm ready to go. I haven't forgotten anything. And I'm sitting, waiting for my first client, stress-free, nothing better to do than to take those minutes and just sit there. Maybe check out social media. Maybe I'm watching a program. Maybe I read a bit. Maybe I'm just going to sit there and enjoy the quiet of not having anything to do for those first few minutes before work, right? Because I knew I had everything done, because I did the same thing in the same order every day. It's kind of like when you drive to work the same way every single morning. You can do it in your sleep because you've done it so many times. You just automatically do it. That's the point of the routine, where you're going to get everything you need to get done in the morning, every single morning, because you do that same thing every day. And then on the weekends, for me, where that break was on the weekends when I chose to, I'd say sleep in, but I literally am not capable of that. I have a incredibly structured circadian rhythm, which I am told is really good and beneficial to my health. But let me tell you, I would love to be able to sleep in. But I would choose to not get out of bed. Maybe I'd watch a program. Maybe I would read a bit. That's where I'd have that freedom come in, because I know everything's done from the week, right? That's the other thing I love, is for those of us that are control freaks. I like to call myself the recovering control addict, because I still do struggle with letting go. I feel like this is just a lifelong issue. And so this is something where having that routine every morning gives us a sense of control, that little bit of, like power over our lives, because we know we're doing that same thing every morning. We've chosen to do that same thing every morning. And it gives us that control, which will allow us to let go of control in other places of our lives that we need to let go, right? That micromanaging, that unhealthy control. So we still get that little bit to satiate our controlling needs, while being able to then hopefully let go in other areas, right? So it has all these great, wonderful benefits if you just kind of take away, if you have preconceived notions about routines being bad, you have these perceptions of why routine is bad, put those aside for a minute and just think about all the wonderful things it could do. Give it a try. There's nothing wrong with changing your mind about things, right? Like, be open-minded, give it a try. It really does do wonders of good. So again, if you're looking to give this a try, definitely start in the morning, especially if you have kids. Kids love structure. Kids love routine. Again, you get them into those habits where now hopefully at the end of it, you're not struggling to get them out of the door. Because I know I've heard from all my parents. I see the memes on Facebook. I see all the things where, I tell my kid to get ready, they're getting ready, they say they're getting ready, they say they're ready, and then they've done nothing and they're not even close to being ready to go. So kids love structure as much as some people think they don't. They really, really, truly do. I've seen it myself. They really benefit from it. And plus, when you start having routines in the morning, you structure yourself as well. You are teaching them these healthy habits. So when they become adults, it won't be a struggle if they want to implement routines and structure into their life, right? If they choose not to, that's on them, right? When they're adult, they can do whatever they like, but at least it won't be a foreign concept to them. And hopefully, like I said, you get everyone into a good routine. Everyone does the same thing every morning. In the end, you're just this well-oiled machine and everyone's in the car ready to go at the same time because you do the same thing every morning, right? So how do you do this? All right, this is where you really want to start, you get that pen and paper, always pen and paper, guys. You list out everything you want to do in the morning, and then you list out the order that you think will be best to do it in. And this is one of those things, trial and error. You list it all out. Tomorrow you give it a go, see how it feels, make any adjustments you might need to make with it. But the whole point of it is once you get going, once you repeat that routine enough that it becomes second nature, like this should be something that helps you. It should not be stressful. I will say in the beginning, if you've never done anything like it before, it might be a little bit stressful just to like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? And, getting those kids to follow in line. It's like anything. Kids learning a new thing takes time, takes a little patience. They didn't learn to walk overnight. They didn't get potty trained overnight. It's that repetition to really ingrain it. But you'll kind of feel like when something feels right, when it, kind of like, yeah, okay, I can see this working. I just got to get it into that routine. I got to get it, that well-oiled machine. We need to repeat, right? And again, nothing's ever written in stone. You can switch it up, make something work. Maybe your job changes, kids change school, whatever happens. You just adjust the routine. Again, continue until it's second nature. And then easy peasy, right? So this is, again, it really helped me literally stress-free mornings because you're doing that same thing every day. Therefore, you know that you have everything. You haven't forgotten everything because you have that routine. You keep saying that word. I got to find out a new word for routine. But right? You do the same thing. So you won't forget it because it's second nature to you now, right? So give it a shot, guys. I hope this helps. As always, I'm going to try and remember to say this more and more. Give me that thumbs up, drop a comment, drop the like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you've never had routine and you try it, please let me know how it goes. Again, I can pretty much guarantee you if you just give it an honest effort and you give it a shot, you're going to see how awesome it is. Again, saving that time, getting rid of a lot of stress and anxiety, and really just freeing up, a lot of mental, what's the word? I don't want to say happiness, that's not quite it, but it's a lot of relief that comes, right? So yeah, till the next time, guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep the positivity, of course. Always have gratitude. Yeah, we'll talk to you later.